Welcome. My name is Robert Keithley Emmett, and I am currently a freshman at Clemson University, and I'm looking into pursuing a degree in chemical engineering here. Uh, Today I'm going to be talking to you about New Student Dialogue, which is a new program that Clemson is starting here. And the point of the New Student Dialogue is to kind of show incoming students a controversial topic and have them talk about it. Therefore, they can better understand the topic and end up looking at these things in a different way than they looked at it originally. So my student dialogue that I did was called Crossing Borders, and the borders that they're talking about crossing in this case is stereotyping. We all know stereotypes, we've all heard them, they're very prominent in our society today, and that's just the way it's been. So, stereotypes, everyone knows some, they could be anything from like subgroups of school, like in high school or in college, the band kids, they don't play as much, or, sororities and fraternities like to go out and party all the time. It could be things like that, or it could be, based off countries. Russians do this, whatever. We've all heard stereotypes before. And the main thing that we were talking about in this dialogue is why are stereotypes formed? And stereotypes are formed, what we discussed in our thing is that stereotypes were formed based off two things. That people saw a trend among a certain group of people, and they decided that regardless, rather than just take every person and look at them individually, they would just tag this thing that they noticed among 2 or 3 people to the whole group, and therefore they wouldn't have to take the time to try to understand everybody. And so the way that stereotypes work is a lot of times it works as like a shortcut so that we don't fully have to understand everyone. We can just be like, oh, alright, he's on the football team. I know everything about him I need to know. But that's not true, because we don't really know anything about him, And during our New Student Dialogue, we watched a video about this lady who was African, born in South Africa, and how she loved reading books. And so growing up, most of the books she was able to read were written by Americans or Europeans, and she would read these books, and then when she started writing herself, she wouldn't write stories about her or about her experiences. She would write stories about what she'd read in other books. So she started writing all this stuff about as if she was a European or an American or whatever. And then eventually one day she was like, well, someone told her, it's like, why aren't you writing about that your heritage or what you grew up with and your experiences? And it's because she never read an author that had done that. So because of this, she had to look at things in a different way. And what she was talking about is that the stereotypes are caused because we only know one side of the story. We only know the side that some people have created. And so the reason that stereotypes are caused is because we don't take the time to understand all sides of the stories. Like when you have a fight with your sibling or your husband and your wife or someone, you always see your side and why you see your opinion, but you don't fully understand the argument until you look at it from the other person's point of view. And that's really what she was talking about in this, is that stereotypes really cause because we don't look at things from both sides. We're only going to look at it from one side, and when we look at it from this one side, we do not completely understand the whole situation. Alright, so do I feel like the group achieved the true dialogue? Yes, I feel like the group achieved the true dialogue. We talked openly. We did this little assignment that they gave us. Yeah. Obviously, in any group, there's people that are going to be more vocal than others. So, yeah. There's also going to be people that aren't as vocal as the other words. I kind of played a role in between. I mean, I would speak up and talk, but at the same time, I wasn't going to lead the conversation. So I kind of played a role in between. Thoughts and observations. I mean, I think this is the program overall was good. I mean, I do look at it in a different way, because a lot of times you just look at stereotypes and like, you know it's wrong, you know you shouldn't do it. But at the same time, if you look at it like, well, here's my side, let me think about their side. I think that's the biggest thing that came out of this experience for me. Other than that, I think that's it. So, thank you for your time, and